Like, my opinion is, don't ask this question. It was such a foolish notion that into my marriage for at least a decade, I carried tens of thousands of dollars of debt.
Yeah, my wife's a realtor. There's no way, but creative. Well, you've got life experience, so you can offer opinions, advice about other things. So specifically it's talking about being maybe unemployed and unexperienced, as we've talked about in the past. Is it possible to get a car without a job and hence really without money?
There are a lot of good strategies on how to do that. If you don't have a job, like, my opinion is, don't ask this question. Go get a cheap car or whatever.
What do you mean by, well, you're asking how do you get a car with no job? Are you saying how do I get a loan for a car with no job?
It's like, why would you be asking this question? Just go get a job.
How do you get to work if you don't have a car?
You ride your bike, you get a ride, you take an Uber, you get a job, and then get a car.
And that's Nate's opinion. What about getting a credit card without a job?
Okay, so
Your opinion.
I will. My opinion is obviously don't do it, but I have some story because it's so tempting.
Because they send them to you in the mail by the time you're an adult.
When I was a college student, I had summer sales jobs and I did well. I bought things that I could not afford, bought them on credit card because I knew that I'd be making up for that in the summer.
Yeah.
That's never a good plan. The whole philosophy of credit cards and leveraging things, it was such a foolish notion that into my marriage for at least a decade, I carried tens of thousands of dollars of debt. Like, if you don't have a job, don't get a credit card.
So what do you say to those young people who maybe weren't raised and educated on understanding credit scores and things like that? Because in order to get a loan, in order to do this or that, even with a job, how do I establish my credit without maxing out a credit card and then, you know what I mean?
If I could go back and do it again, I would make sure I had $1,000 in a checking account, and I'd get a credit card with $1,000 limit. I would buy something with the credit card that I could afford, and then take money from my checking and pay off the credit card.
Right away.
You build, like, the reason for the benefits of having a credit card when you're young is you need to establish credit.
Right.
But you get into a trap of, oh, I don't have money in my checking account, but I've got $1,000 on my credit card, so I can buy it now, and then it's such a simple, it seems like that, not that big of a deal. Like, well, I'm going to get it next week and I'll be able to pay it off. It's just a trap.
Not worth it.
It's a trap, and they raise your interest rates. If you're behind, you get up to like 21% interest, or it's a trap.
Can you buy a house without a job? I mean, if you're a millionaire who doesn't have a job, great, go buy it with cash. But most people, they have to get into lending.
Like, okay, logically, it's like, that's obviously a bad idea, right? Get an apartment, rent for a time. But there are ways. Like, if you're talking about getting a mortgage, the lender is going to look at your employment, right? Or being self-employed, or what's your income, can you prove it? But you can buy a house without going through a traditional lender. The person who's selling the home, you can have them be your bank and just say, hey, I'm going to make payments to you. But obviously you're going to have a source of income to be able to cover that. But when I bought this house, I have a mortgage on this now. For the first year, I actually did a lease to own. I just made arrangements with the owner, and I put a down payment to them. It was smaller than I would have paid to a bank at the time, but I made a down payment to them. I paid them a rent plus some each month, and then a year later, I just got a regular mortgage. And so there are ways, there are creative ways of doing things. So if people are searching online, like, can you buy a house without a job, like not through a bank, but depending on what your needs are.
Yeah, my wife's a realtor. There's no way, but creative.
There are 3 different ways that I work with people: my course, my done-for-you service, and my inner circle, brand new this year. Okay, my course is DIY, do it yourself, but it's my complete strategy. You go through 10 weeks, 10 modules that will help you get the ball rolling and generate momentum with the exact strategy that I use on all 27 channels that I produce. My Done For You service is what clients like Noel Randall use, where we do all the filming, we do all the editing, the thumbnail design, the launch, we monitor the analytics, and help these channels improve month after month after month. Now, my Inner Circle is for six-figure business owners that want to take their business to seven figures and really want to scale their YouTube channel as well. You get a taste of our Done For You service where we just launch one episode per week. You're also a part of a community with other business owners that want to learn and implement the same strategy, and we have 4 quarterly retreats. Now, the studio houses where you'll be filmed either here in Utah or in Orlando, Florida are also big enough that that's where we're going to have our quarterly retreats. If you're ready for a strategy session with me to discuss whether my course, the Inner Circle, or my Done For You service is a fit for you, then go to my website, BeTheHeroStudios.com. I'll link to it below, and anywhere on that page, click Learn More, and I'll chat with you then. If you're just getting started in business, the best thing to do is to...
It feels like it has a longer burn too, like it takes more time for that to develop.
Yeah, I don't believe it. To me, that is the most ludicrous idea.